Hello, I'm Josh. I'm from West Coast Sport Compacts, and we're going to interview many of race car drivers this year. First off, we have Patrick Kelley. Patrick, hi.
Hello, nice to see you guys.
It's nice to be here today. And introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about the history in racing and how'd you get into it. And
Yeah, so I started racing. Going way back when. A lot of us all started off with, hey, when you're kids, your childhood and everything. Well, back in the early '70s, I grew up in West Sacramento, California, and West Sacramento had West Capitol Speedway, Johnny Brazil, Wayne Sue, guys like that. So back in the day, my dad did race. And so when my dad raced up in the Lewiston, Idaho area, it was just a natural thing for me to be interested in racing. So we'd go out to the races out in West Capitol. That started it. But then we eventually moved and relocated to Madera, California. And I started off with my first race car. I bought an old junk jalopy car, a 1969 Ford Galaxy off of a used car lot, $500. And we started racing about I want to say 82, 83, somewhere in there, maybe 81. And I started running jalopy stocks. They called them out at Madera Speedway. I did that for about 2-3 years, had fun, hit the wall there a couple times. Raced against Bill Swanson and Mike Swanson. The Swanson family were out there at the time, and that's how it all got started. After that, I wasn't really competitive. I was on pavement. It was a family. It was just me, my dad. We weren't that fast, so I just got to the point where I did that for a few years and got expensive, and so then I started working at Madera Speedway. Did that for quite a few years, and then we go way advanced in life, right? Life happens. You got kids, things like that come up, and so I started the family, and then about in '05, '06, it had to be '05, I was working at Madera Speedway still, and they had an employee track day, employee fun day. So they brought a bunch of Toyota sedans out there, let us get in the car, run around the track. That was it. That was the end of it right there. I quit Madera Speedway. I went out that winter and bought a car for, I don't even remember how much I bought the car and the trailer. And from then on, I just started working on Toyotas. And the guy goes, I go, oh yeah, I'm gonna run this thing at Madera. He goes, no, I ran this at Chowchilla. I said, Chowchilla? And he goes, yeah. I go, what? I didn't even know Chowchilla had a track. He goes, yeah, no, it's a dirt track. And I went, dirt? Shit, that sounds like fun. So that was it. That's where the following year, I went out there. Have no clue what I was doing with rear wheel drive dirt track racing. And that's where it started. I won, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 races at Chowchilla. I think it's in '06, '07. '08, then the markets and everything, stuff started getting more expensive. I quit for a while. And then just recently, 3 years ago, COVID, I started working, building a car back up. My family situation changed. The kids got older and are moving on. And so that's why, you guys, I ran with you guys for the last couple of years just to help out, give you an extra car to run with. It was rear wheel drive. So now we advanced all the way up to why am I standing in front of a freaking front wheel drive car now? I live about a mile away from Jeff Durant in Clovis. And I was watching him run a race on probably Flow Racing. And I said, well, shit, he's from Clovis. And then the name Durant was familiar to me because I found out later it's his brother was Paul, he used to run in Madera. But so I talked to him, and I got my car out there a couple years ago at Merced. We ran a few races, and I quickly learned I was way under horsepower, and I don't know nothing about it. Now we get to 2023. Dan Myrick let me run his car one race at Merced just to see what it was like, and I will admit, completely different for me, right? It's just I'm used to rear wheel drive. It's all been rear wheel drive, and I'm used to the push, the drive coming off the corner, and this is just completely different. So, I told Jeff, I go, hey, you had the car that you kept, the only thing that concerns this car is I think got a history of Jeff lighting up with it and being on fire. So I think I'm an idiot, but I told Jeff, I said, hey, what are you gonna do with the 3D? He goes, hey, dude, you want to run it? Run it. So Jeff actually, just so everybody knows, it is Jeff's car still. But I'm just helping. I'm getting the engine, the transmission with the help of Dan Myrick to help get me on the track again. I'm gonna run a few select races with you guys for 2024 to have fun. So that's what the goal is. I'm gonna take it home and clean it up a little bit and repaint it and stuff. So that's basically about how I got into where I am now. Yeah, so Jeff Durant gave me an opportunity, so we'll run a few races and see how it goes. New adventure.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So another question here is, what's your most memorable moment with West Coast Sport Compacts?
Probably, I was gonna say probably the best one I've had is, so with my rear wheel drive car, I always felt like, suspension back from the 70s, rear wheel drive, I had a good motor in it, but I just didn't have a whole lot of horsepower. I actually ran pretty decent last year at Tulare. And I was telling Austin, I go, hey, you guys didn't lap me. And his joke was, oh, well, we were coming up on you, but you didn't lap me, Austin. You almost did, but you didn't. And but yeah, no, that was a good run. It was fun. But that was probably my best one where I felt like, okay, that was cool. And obviously last year, I mean, I know that we ran that race. It wasn't a West Coast race, but a Merced where I got to run a front wheel drive, just different animal. But yeah, that was probably the best one for me is for West Coast is not getting lapped. And that's my goal, guys. Be competitive, give you guys an extra car and not get lapped too much.
All right. I have another question here for you. What's your opinion on the future of the West Coast Sport Compacts?
So that's a good question. The one thing about West Coast is, when I heard about West Coast, I didn't know anything about it. I learned about it, and I think you guys were originally Central Valley mini stocks or something like that. Yes. Yeah, and but it's the right idea. You have an organization, you have a group that's formed to basically promote what I want to say mini stock, but it's sport compact racing. It's a good thing because you're getting the opportunity to run different tracks. You go up there with a group. A lot of tracks are not just running a mini stock or a class like that. Running Tulare and Hanford this year, you're actually running as West Coast Sport Compact. They don't run a compact class there, period. So, it gives a chance. You guys get to run with sprint cars. Whenever you guys get to run with that kind of crowd, that's going to be a positive thing for West Coast, and the good thing about it is that this is a class where, hey, you know what, Dan Myrick's going to help you guys out. If you guys got questions, you need help, and it gives everybody the opportunity to get into racing, and you have a group to run with, and they will help you out. Everybody's offered help, and that's what's really cool about it. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't getting a little bit of help. So you guys are going in the right direction with the group. I'm out here to help support you guys, so that's cool.
We definitely appreciate that. Do you have anybody else you'd like to thank or any sponsors or anything like that?
So I'm a realtor. I actually got 2 full-time careers. I have 0 real sponsors that are helping me out. I might just do this for the fun of it, but yeah. So I wish I could sit there and say, yeah, I'd like to thank so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so, but and for my situation, it's just me, Patrick Kelley, realtor out of Clovis. I don't even my sons help out at times, but they all have careers, so it's yeah, sponsors come call me, but it's just me, myself, and I right now. Yeah. Thanks to Dan Myrick, thanks to Jeff Durant. They're helping me get this thing ready. I know nothing about front wheel drive cars, nothing. So it's just to get this thing on the track. We'll be thanking Dan Myrick and Jeff giving me the opportunity to get into a car. So, and thanks for coming out and chatting with me. So it's pretty cool.
Do you have anything else you'd like to say or anything?
Just anybody, if you guys want to get into economical racing, you guys want to get into something, get into racing, see what it's like. I just sold my backup car to someone in the Oakland area, and they just wanted to see what it's like to go dirt track racing. Well, if that's what you want to do, you want to probably get a hold of some of the folks that are West Coast. Get a hold of me, Jeff, Dan Myrick, Sean, Austin. Austin's and a few of those guys are up in the Northern Valley area. Learn about it because this thing is going to be growing. And I know they had that big race back in Georgia this past week, and I know there's talk about, hey, let's get cars and go out there. So it's just anybody that wants to get into racing, this is a good thing to get into. There's a lot of guys that'll help you, and it is fun. After the races, you get to hang out, have a good time, chat with friends, so it's cool. But
Sounds
Yeah.
good, Patrick. Well, thank you.
All right,
I
man.
appreciate
Hey,
it today.
all
Thank you
right.
for your time.